Bill Shepard Sr. took the Carmel High School coaching job in 1958 and did okay. But when his oldest son Billy got to high school, things changed. Billy was a star from the moment he stepped into the lineup as a freshman, averaging over 32 points per game in his junior and senior seasons at Carmel.
Well, Billy's one of those classic Indiana guards from that era in the 60s who would shoot it from anywhere. You know, Rick Mount, other places you have Pete Maravich and guys. These are guys who would pull up from 30, 35 feet in transition and let it go, and it was okay.
As a senior, with his younger brother David now on the team, Billy put his shooting on display in a record-setting performance when he scored 70 points against Brownsburg.
I think the county record at that time was 44, 45 points. I had 24 at half, so I really wasn't, thinking of a 70-point game. But the second half, probably the quickest 16 minutes in sports, and, 46 points later, I had 70 points.
Outscored him 70-69. I've watched the video a couple times with him. You got to remember, he scored 70 points with no three-point line, no three-pointers. He just scored 92 or 3, I think, at least. And when you think about a 5'10" and a half guard scoring 70 points and outscoring the other team, it probably should have been in Sports Illustrated. I mean, it was a big story in the Star.
Billy would be named Mr. Basketball in 1968 and decided to stay close to home to play in college, choosing Butler University, where he had a good career, making the All-American team as a sophomore, and he finished his career as Butler's all-time leading scorer.
I don't think people realize how good he was at Butler University. Setting every scoring record at Butler. He was an All-American as a sophomore. To average 23 or 4 points a game, for your career at Butler it's never been accomplished before. So I would say his career at Butler, probably because of the success that they've had here in the last several years, people probably forgot, how good he was because they've had some really good players. But in my opinion, he's the greatest player in the history of Butler.
Billy's one of the more exciting players to come out of Indiana. If you watched him play, it was entertaining.
No doubt being named Mr. Basketball in the state of Indiana was the greatest honor. Very humble about that. When you look at the list of players that have achieved that award, to be named and be a part of that fraternity, it was tremendous. The fact that I got to play for my dad in high school, I got to play for Coach Henkel in college, being on his last team, playing in the greatest field house in America, in Henkel Fieldhouse for 3 years. I mean, those are things that stick with me. The Pro Ball was fun. Setting a league record was fun, but, it begins and ends with high school basketball in the state of Indiana.